So I've been in a wheelchair for about 9 years now, and I've noticed something really interesting. The wheelchair actually has a very negative reputation. Now, I personally feel that there is a stigma against wheelchairs, created by many people who do not use wheelchairs. And this stigma, as weird as it is also very simple. You see, many people believe that wheelchairs are symbols of limitations, that they're symbols of dependence, that they are symbols of people who can't do things. And I'm here today to tell you that that stigma is completely false and that it is actually very harmful. Now, I don't know where this stigma was started, I don't know when it was started, and I don't know who started it. But it exists and it is very obvious, and the consequences are actually very harmful. You see it all the time. You see models like Kylie Jenner who think that it's okay to use the wheelchair as a symbol of her limitation. You see parents who cry when they find out that their child has to use a wheelchair. You see things like this all the time. And it makes you wonder, why exactly do people see the wheelchair as a symbol of limitations? You see, the wheelchair is a mobility aid. The wheelchair is what helps me get around. It's what allows me to go around the campus late at night when it's really rainy and spooky. But I digress. I can go around the campus late at night when it's rainy and spooky because of this wheelchair. The wheelchair is not a symbol of dependency at all. Rather, it is a symbol of independency. It is a symbol of people who couldn't do something but now can because they have this mobility aid. And I understand for people who can walk and run and skip and do all of that, I can see why a wheelchair might seem like a symbol of limitations. But there's something that I think a lot of abled people need to understand, and I don't know why it's hard for them to understand, but it's important and they really need to understand this. I couldn't get around if it wasn't for this wheelchair, and I can personally walk. I can walk a few feet. It hurts. Every single day it hurts, and it's something that I can only do for a minute or two at a time. Because here's the thing. I can put this here and make it so that it doesn't fall, which might be impossible. There we go. So I can put that phone there, and if I come back over here, if I can get up, and I can admittedly walk around. However, it is very difficult. You see that I'm limping. You see that it's hard. It hurts. It's not easy. And when you get to the point where you can no longer walk, there's nothing left to do but to crawl. And you see this is not dignified at all. But this is how I would have to get around if it wasn't for that. The wheelchair is what gives people their independence. It's what keeps them from having to crawl around on very hard gravel late at night on a rainy Saturday. Kind of regretting this decision. But it's because of this chair that I can avoid that very wet, dirty, painful gravel. It's because of this chair that I can do all of the things that I'm able to do on a daily basis. And I really wish that abled people would realize that and would stop saying that the chair is a symbol of limitations, because again, that's completely untrue. So I understand if you say that the disability is limiting. I personally disagree, but I can understand where you're coming from. But the wheelchair, come on guys, the wheelchair's great. Stop giving it such a bad reputation. And so I personally feel, as someone who uses a wheelchair and as an advocate for people with disabilities, I feel that we need to reclaim the wheelchair. And I intend to do just that with a social media campaign entitled Reclaim the Chair. Now, this would be a very simple but a very powerful campaign wherein people in wheelchairs post photos of themselves doing amazing things because they are amazing, and they will go beyond, the limits, and they will do things that surprise you, that surprise me, that surprise everyone. And they can do those things because the wheelchair gives them the independence, because it gives them the ability to do those things. And so it's for this reason that I am personally starting the campaign, Reclaim the Wheelchair. And I encourage everyone, both people with disabilities and without disabilities, to understand that a wheelchair is not a symbol of limitations, but rather is a symbol of independence. If you want to help out with this campaign, and if you are in a wheelchair, you can post pictures and videos of yourselves. Use the hashtag #ReclaimTheChair. Show people that the wheelchair is a symbol of independence, and that you can be independent and amazing and wonderful and beautiful. And if you are able and want to help, repost those pictures, reblog, make the tag known, because it's really important. This stigma exists, and it is very toxic, but we can decrease it. We can get rid of it, but it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of people, and most of all, it's going to take a lot of independence.